Hello, everybody. Rob McCarran, Jeff Hawkins, Shake Them Ropes. It is Shake Them Ropes episode 80. And Jeff Hawkins, do you know why that is a big deal?
No.
Because we are going to discuss match number 80.
Oh.
Today on the Top 100 Countdown, the Fantastics against the Midnight Express. And boy, do you remember what I texted you when I got done watching this match, which was just an hour or so ago?
Actually, it wasn't even that long ago. It was just finished Fantastics Midnight. It was cray.
It was so cray. So
also today on Shake Them Ropes, a detailed breakdown of whether or not the new Leave It to Beaver that was being advertised on this Clash of Champions would work on the WWE network.
It was the new Leave It to Beaver. So, of course, what I did when Eddie Haskell, the new Eddie Haskell, was on the screen is I had to Google the new Leave It to Beaver. Jerry Mathers as Beaver.
Wow, you watched more than just the match then. Okay.
I watched more than just the match. I watched that. Then I watched Gary Hart's interview.
Did you watch their Chicago street fight?
Who was the man that Gary Hart was with?
Al Perez. The Latin heartthrob. Al Perez.
Okay, see, I thought it was Joey Ryan.
No.
They had quite the similar look going and quite the similar stare into the camera going. And then I just watched all the cool graphics. I watched the revealing of the top 10 seeds
for the Crockett Memorial.
In the Crockett Memorial, Crockett Senior Memorial
Cup.
Now,
hold on. Did you watch the Dr. Death interview before the actual tag match? Oh, my God.
I started with the tag match.
There's a reason why A, Dr. Death went to Oklahoma instead of Stanford, and B, why he wasn't bigger. And that interview is one of the reasons. It was terrible.
So we're going to talk match number 80, the Fantastics, the Midnight Express, for the NWA US heavyweight tag team titles, I believe.
The United States tag team titles.
United States tag team titles. We're going to talk about that from the original Clash of the Champions, the NWA Clash of the Champions. We are going to talk about some NXT.
Little.
We're going to talk some Monday Night Raw. And we're going to talk about the King of the Ring, which happened tonight. Because we are recording this after the finals of the King of the Ring, because Shake Them Ropes, we bring the newest, hottest topics to you weekly.
Spoiler space, kids, if you haven't watched.
Yeah. And then we are going to do a full, lengthy breakdown of the Kentucky Derby happening this Saturday.
Oh.
Full, lengthy breakdown. I think it's the first time in the last several years, like usually by accident, I know one of the horses that are in this race at least a week or so before. I don't know a single name of any horse in this race, and it's 3 days out. Is that just me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know any of them, but I mean, I've been to the Kentucky Derby. It's fine.
If you're listening out there tonight or Wednesday, because I still don't know any names of horses, and I'm not going to look it up. If you know any of the names of the horse, I'm interested to see if anyone at Shake Them Ropes on Twitter knows any single name of any horse in this race on Saturday, or is it just going to be completely forgotten and overridden by the Manny Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather fight, which I think it will be. But
was Jim Rome's horse one of the ones that was supposed to be entered into it and it broke its hip?
I don't know.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know. I don't know these things. I don't know anything about the horse racing. I know the Red Sox and the Yankees are on Saturday. I know there's NBA playoffs. There's NHL playoffs. Sorry, Kings. I know there's just a lot going on this weekend. A lot going on this weekend.
Yes.
But no wrestling this weekend.
No.
Because we had it last weekend with Extreme Rules. We had it yesterday with Monday Night Raw. We had it tonight with the King of the Ring. Let's go into this Monday Night Raw. Jeff, I watched the whole show today. Did not watch any of it last night. I kind of did read some of the information about the King of the Ring, because I wanted to see, who was in it, who was going to be on the King of the Ring finals. But I watched it today. And again, we were questioning on our Extreme Rules post show with Dylan Hales what the main event of Payback would be. I know there was the commercial released that singled out Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins about 2 weeks ago. But again, commercials and ads really mean nothing that far out. But that's exactly what they did. They did not give us the Kane, Orton, Rollins three-way that we expected. They gave us Roman Reigns in the three-way. Were you a little bit surprised?
Oh, I was very surprised. I was flabbergasted that they'd actually put Rollins and Orton in a match with Rollins and have no out for a patsy. I still think they may add Kane.
Kane could be maybe with 2 weeks in between. I'm not sure about that, but I'm so surprised because the main feud right now is Seth Rollins and Kane.
Yeah.
It's the main program. Are they waiting for, like, God forbid, are they giving that to us at like SummerSlam? I mean, like, is that the one that they're going to hold out all summer on us?
I'll be honest with you. The guy that's, and this shocks me to say, but the guy who's weird being shoehorned in here is Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. This quickly
like,
again.
It's like, yeah, I beat the Giant, so I deserve another title shot.
Well, maybe he does. I mean, he has a point. He lost, he lost the match at WrestleMania to an opponent who wasn't in the match.
No, I agree with that. That's fine.
But quickly.
But I mean, the reasoning should, maybe he, show him pinning Seth at some point or something to that effect to make it more legitimate than I beat
or someone other than just the Big Show, right? But I'm just flabbergasted so quickly. Like, it seems to me it's screaming out that Payback is another transition pay-per-view just to get to the next one. Like, I don't think they're gonna throw Roman Reigns the belt here. Do you? Because he's the only one who has the possibility of winning this. To me,
it floors me that I don't see any other reason to put Roman in this match at this time other than to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna kind of kill some of his mystique, I think. Don't you? I mean, it seems a bit soon to throw him into a title shot without giving him the title.
It's so weird. You got two baby faces in this match in this triple threat. I mean, Seth Rollins is fighting the odds here.
I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, Rollins can cut numerous promos about how he's the king of the triple threat.
I think this match will be great. Like, I think 100% we're going to have a continued streak of Roman Reigns on pay-per-view singles matches. Like, he has not had a bad one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad one yet. Except
it just seems odd to me that this is that Roman's going to be part of this.
I found it very odd that one Roman is a part of it. I find it very odd what they're going to do because it screams to me a transition pay-per-view again. You have the I Quit with John Cena and Rusev, which I mean, we still don't know what's going to happen. Like, I would so hope that Rusev wins, but everything is screaming in the other direction.
Yeah. I liked Dylan's call, though. The more I think about it, the more this abusing Lana thing is going to be a swerve, and he'll threaten Lana, and John will quit for the honor of a woman,
which is just ridiculous.
I agree, but that's what it is. I mean, I'm part of that triple threat is I'm convinced now democracy doesn't work in any ways because it's just ridiculous. You could have Orton, you can have Roman, or you can have both. Who's not voting for both? Who's going,
22% didn't.
I can have pizza, tacos, or pizza and tacos. I just want one.
I choose pizza.
You're a fool.
I choose only pizza. I mean, if the poll was 2 pizzas, 2 tacos, or 1 pizza and 1 taco, choosing 2 pizzas. Sorry.
Now here's where it gets lame. If Kane's the decider of who wins, it's just
Kane's gonna be like the ref, right?
Yeah, something, or he's interfering. It's just nobody cares at this point.
I'm the biggest Kane fan there is.
I like him. I like what he does. I just don't. If you want to make him a player, make him a player. If not,
this story is so ridiculous. I'm tired of, for 2 months in a row now, putting Kane in a position to help Rollins for him to only choke slam him and then eventually help him anyway.
I don't understand. I don't understand why he was in this opening promo. I got to be honest with you. Didn't he choke slam him just the other night?
He choke slammed him, but he did help him win at the end. He was helping him win. So he's part of the team. But Seth Rollins is this idiot who keeps going, trusting Kane. Trusting Kane of all people. I don't like this whole story. It's one of those, it's the summer story that we have that's making no sense. That's just going nowhere. And God forbid if you were still putting these pay-per-views on traditional pay-per-view, can you imagine the outrage of having these finishes that we've had outside of WrestleMania? I mean, you're going to have another pay-per-view that's a transition. Everything screams to be an extra 3-hour Raw every week until you get to the big shows. And there's really only 3 of those.
Yeah, and most of those are wrapped around special attractions and not the guys on your roster.
Like, I'm begging for Money in the Bank to show up because at least then we know we're going to get a couple of good matches and at least the story for the rest of the year. Like, we'll get the next briefcase holder so we have something to look forward to.
I know the story, I think. That's why they put Roman in this match. because Roman's going to lose this and win Money in the Bank.
Well, that's just dumber.
I think. I might be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong.
I just don't know what you're going to do with this. Like, I guess we might see something over the next 2 weeks with Roman Reigns to see what they're going to do. But like, I could either see Seth Rollins winning by some craziness or Roman Reigns winning. But then what? I mean, that just defeats the whole last 2 months we've had.
I agree.
Like, I'm fine for, seeing something cool happen. I want to see something cool happen. I almost would rather watch. Dylan said it on Sunday. I think some people scoffed. I want to see Seth Rollins and Kane, so at least it can end. And you get the story that is happening right now. Like, even if it's not for a title, get a Kane-Seth Rollins match in there. Yeah,
you have these feuds with no closure, and then you just kind of move on to something else. It's not just isolated on Kane and Seth, but it feels like it is. I mean, it's like we never had real closure to the Seth Ambrose feud, to be honest with you, because we had, magic lamps and holograms.
We never had closure to that one. We haven't had real closure to Randy Orton yet. It looks like we might be getting there. But now with Roman Reigns going in, now with the Kane story already started, we're not going to get closure with that. It doesn't.
We've never had closure on that. We've never had closure on a Daniel Bryan storyline. We've never had closure. We don't get anything. We don't have that blow off where you go, okay, that's the end of the feud. Let's move on.
I feel kind of negative on myself because like sometimes we want long-standing stories to happen, and they're trying this long-standing story with Kane, but usually you want a long-form story to have twists and turns and at least something progressing it. Right now, the same thing keeps happening with Kane and Rollins. There's nothing progressing it. It's the same thing week after week after week.
It's very formulaic. I will agree.
I mean, it's less than formula. At least formula means there's, this plus that minus this. This formula is Seth Rollins plus Kane. ... And continue
it's Seth Rollins and everybody else with Kane in the background, and everybody's supposed to think, oh, what's he going to do this week? And I'm just like, Kane's going to act nice and then explode and then go back to acting nice. It's not a, whatever.
Go back to acting nice. The Bellas were baby faces.
I've been saying that for 2 weeks, and everybody's like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, they're baby faces.
Bellas are flat out baby faces. There was no turn. They're just baby faces now. Kinda, because they still, do the cheating to win stuff.
They got out healed by someone, so therefore they're faces.
And now. Naomi is the heel Naomi as a heel could have been a crazy good heel.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to put some time into it because there's not a traditional story, but there's a real logical story to Naomi turning. Instead, she just came out one week and was bad.
Well, I mean, again, if you're not one of the 2 or 3 top people, they don't really put a lot of forethought into your story. I mean, this King of the Ring thing, there's a certain logical disconnect in that too, but we'll get to it.
Is there anything else on Raw outside of the King of the Ring that we really have to get into?
Well, this will go into King of the Ring, but if you're going to relaunch Damien Sandow.
Oh yeah, Damien Sandow. Oh, I love that segment.
Are you being sarcastic?
Oh, no. I love the Axel. I mean, there were at points there where I was like cringing because it seemed like it was dying very badly.
It did die very badly. I enjoyed it for what it was. I was hoping they were going to become a tag team.
Sandow,
I was hoping they were going to become a tag team.
Sandow coming out here as the sincere, guy that's just talking to his people. The worst part to me was, yes, he was doing the mimicking of the lines of Curtis Axel. But outside of that, the rest of it was... he got one over on this nothing bad guy. So at least he gets one over on somebody. He's not a babyface out there getting one upped himself. Came out there in street clothes. He's Damien Sandow. You know what he is now. He apologized basically for his heel behavior, saying it was just him, in a wrong state of mind. Apologized for the entertaining gimmicks he had because it was the wrong way to entertain. Like, I have no feelings to what they're going to do with Sandow because he's just going to be the low-level mid-card guy, most likely. But you know what? I'm fine with at least there's some direction in the character.
Okay, but you had a natural thing where you're going to do something with somebody called the King of the Ring. And you have a guy here in search of something. Let's combine that chocolate and peanut butter and make a Reese cup of King Damien Sandow. I mean, that just seems, Because now I'm Damian Sandow.
He's Damian Sandow.
Boring guy.
He's not boring guy. He's sincere guy.
Because, well, I mean, his whole promo was about being entertaining. So now he's going to be boring. That's the way they do this type of stuff. So, and we didn't get the Horatio Alger story of Heath Slater, that rags to riches U.S. title win.
Heath Slater still comes out to the 3-man band song,
and he's still the greatest. I love him.
Great, absolutely. They need. I mean, I understand you don't need to invest much in Heath Slater, and they don't want to right now. But maybe give him his old song back. That makes sense because he's not in a 3-man band. 2 of them are fired, and have been for a year.
His promo was great.
His promos are always great. Heath Slater is that guy.
Yeah,
entertaining every time he's on TV. Whether it's a match or not.
There's a guy who could have used a King of the Ring push.
Oh, God. Now we're just giving everyone a King of the Ring. Jeff!
Well, I'll explain why here, because now we're going to get into it. These King of the Ring promos were dreadful. And there's 2 ways to do King of the Ring. You either do it as it's a 1 or 2 night tournament, and the guy then gets tough guy credibility, or he becomes a wacky mid-card geek character. And we haven't had anything serious come out of this King of the Ring in so long. And it's just, Wade Barrett's already a geek. He's a geek losing in a quote-unquote legitimate feud with Daniel Bryan week after week after week. Now he's the king. And instead of being a credible, tough guy, I'm going to rule with an iron fist in my magical land of Narnia, or whatever the hell it is. And I hate those promos. I hate those. I'm going to rule. The only one that was really any good was Dean Ambrose's, where he's like, I don't want a tax on ale, which I'm like, I'm all for that. But
that was pretty lame too. They were all lame.
I mean, how, and R-Truth is borderline racist. I'll say it.
It's not borderline.
You think full on prejudiced racist?
God, yes.
Step and fetch it. Yeah, I agree. But I'm trying to be optimistic, I guess.
Out of Raw, we had R-Truth, Neville, Bad News Barrett, and Sheamus as the final 4 in the King of the Ring. The King of the Ring took place tonight, Tuesday night, on WWE Network in the old main event time slot. You had Neville going up against Sheamus. You had Bad News Barrett going up against R-Truth. The Bad News Barrett R-Truth match was effectively a squash. It was a short, mid-card level Raw Barrett showcase. Barrett gets the win with the bullhammer, not much to it, and he goes on to the finals, and would end up being an all-English final as Neville took care of Sheamus with the help of Dolph Ziggler. I like this segment with Neville and Sheamus because I thought the match was all right.
I did too. I liked it. I liked that they got Sheamus. I like that they got Sheamus away from this, because I know you had originally tweeted that you thought he was going to win. But it keeps him as a, I mean, you can now build, especially after the ending tonight, you can build this Sheamus Dolph feud as a blood feud and as something serious, and keep Sheamus on the trajectory where I think they want him to be a main event heel again. I enjoyed that match. I enjoyed, I liked the blood. I'll say it. I geeked out for the blood a bit. And then the final match I thought was pretty good too. I liked Barrett Neville.
I like the segment. I like the segment with Neville and Sheamus one because yes, you got Neville the win there against someone who the fans do seem as a credible guy. They see Sheamus as a credible big.
Yeah, and big guy credibility.
You have Sheamus taken out of that, continuing the feud with Dolph Ziggler, so you have some progression there. Hooray, progression. And it's a Tuesday night on the WWE Network. I mean, this is what you use that for. You have some, live entertaining matches that mean something, but you progress stories. Like, this isn't what you should be doing on pay-per-view. Sacrificing every finish on a pay-per-view to progress a story, to sacrifice the finishes on the next pay-per-view until you finally want to give someone a win, which will come a year from now at WrestleMania. I mean, this is exactly the right use. But you had Barrett, you had Neville. Not quite as great as their pay-per-view pre-show match on Extreme Rules, just because they weren't given, that much time. They might have been given the same amount of time. I don't really recall. I didn't keep track. But it didn't quite ever get to that level. But it was an entertaining match. Mm-hmm. And, the finish was pretty cool. Neville goes for the red arrow, misses it, turns around right into the bullhammer. And Bad News Barrett gets a big win because the crowd now see Neville as somewhat of a credible guy. They get excited for Neville. And Bad News Barrett is one of these guys that just his entire career, I mean, he's a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, so they give him belts, not that it meant everything. But this is a guy who gets sneaky pushes sometimes. Like, his crowd reactions definitely outweigh the pushes he's received. But he, among the mid-carders, has been given this character that seems more serious than almost everyone else, and the crowd responds to that.
It's so odd because it started out as a comedy gimmick too.
Yeah. But they buy him. He's great on TV. He can speak so well.
Yeah. I mean, they saw something in him early with the Nexus.
Yeah.
And they just never capitalized on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. If I have, I've commented on it. I loved that slingshot backbreaker that he pulled out in this match, where he bounced Neville off the top rope and put him into the back and dropped him against the knee. I thought that was great.
He's got a great moveset.
Yeah. I mean, it's a credible power move set as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's just ragdolling Neville around. He's got the winds of change where he just, throws him every which way.
But here's the thing. He has that credibility, and then now they're going to give him this goofy... They're going to make him act like a goof. Because the original the Harley Race thing, which this floors me. It was a rib on Harley Race.
Well, whether that was true or not, right now with Bad News Barrett,
okay,
it doesn't matter. Like, this is a guy who's a bad guy. This is a guy who takes what he does seriously. I don't know if he's going to be Goofy King. I think he's going to be King. And I'm interested in seeing, I'm not going to poo-poo this and go negative out of the gate.
I'm not going negative out of the gate.
You're right.
I just want to know.
Based on history, you can.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Based on history, you can. But with this, I think it could be a little bit different. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. They may not even, maybe he comes out on Raw with the cape and all that stuff and, the crown, the scepter, whatever the deal is. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's one and done for that week, and then he's just back to being Bad News Barrett and everything moves on. I don't know.
Yeah, they usually, what they do is they do it for a couple weeks. Like I remember with Owen, they did this, and except for like Booker.
Well, Sheamus and Booker.
They tend to, they drop it after a couple weeks.
They called King Sheamus until I believe he got hurt again.
Because it's stupid. But,
if green felt cape.
If Barrett had just thrown the cape and crown away and goes, look, I'm the king, cut some sort of badass promo, because they never made like Austin cut that. I mean, they could have really rebuilt the character, I think. I think the other thing they did really well, I think they built up Neville.
Yeah, no, I like what they've done with Neville.
Through the commentary and through the interviews, where it's like, I was the longest reigning NXT champ. I'm the most decorated NXT champ. They kept talking about his accolades and what he's done, as opposed to, with the exception of the couple times where JBL or I think even the King did, where they comment on his appearance, which, shut up. Yeah, he's short and he's not the most cosmetically pleasing fella in the world, but don't point that out. Don't point out his weaknesses when you're building up his strengths. Keep him strong. But they do what they do. But I mean, I applauded the most about 90% of what they did with Neville tonight. I thought they really did.
I think it's outperformed what a lot of people thought it would in the first month with Neville. I know a lot of people were scared. I mean, remember when that Mighty Mouse rumor took hold and people thought that was actually happening? They gave him the cape. The
cape's still stupid.
But it's a ring jacket. He only wears it for a few steps and then he throws it off.
It's much better than my fear, which was he's going to wear it during the match at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll compromise.
Sometimes you gotta not be afraid.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to. You can't get everything you want, so you gotta be happy with what you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also, just for the broadcast from that perspective, I thought the Vern Gagne tribute was touching.
The tribute to Vern Gagne, who passed away last night. Yeah.
My joke is Vince McMahon's already outbid on his cemetery plot and took it away from him just as one last gotcha.
It's a horrible joke.
It's a great joke if you know the history of what Vince did to.
Nope. I'm suspending you. I turned your mic off. I'm suspending you for 2 seconds on Shake Them Roast for that horrible joke. And you're back. Okay, you're back.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's a new power I've just discovered. That I can suspend you because I control the buttons. You can't do nothing to me.
All right.
Yeah. New power for Rob. So the King of the Ring, Bad News Barrett's your winner.
Yes.
Coming out, we have 2 more weeks until Payback. We have 2 more Raws to get through until Payback. We have, 2 matches? We have Rusev's I Quit match with John Cena. We have the main event triple threat. And we most likely will see a Dolph Ziggler-Sheamus rematch. We have to figure, right?
Ryback and Bray.
Ryback and Bray.
That happened. There's
a women's title match of some kind.
Not probably a Naomi rematch.
Probably a Naomi rematch, or maybe, maybe a triple threat, maybe a tag team match. Maybe Naomi finds a partner. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's basically, what else can you fill this guy with? Luke Harper and who? Anyone? No? A tag team title rematch?
Oh, they may do Luke and Dean again.
Dean's got to find something to do. Luke's got to find something to do.
Mm-hmm.
A U.S. title situation?
New Day, Cesaro, whatever, maybe that 4-way tag.
Maybe a 4-way tag or just a tag title rematch, something like that. Because they could do the tag title rematch. Let's face it, there's 2 Raws from now. I think they can fill those 2 Raws with kind of,
Boy, that was an anticlimactic match, wasn't it?
Tyson Kidd?
The 22nd Tyson Kidd Big E match.
Hey, Big E's a big, strong man. Tyson Kidd's a short, small Canadian.
Okay. I just found that disappointing.
I mean, it is.
On a 3-hour show, you're going to give that much time to those 2. Okay.
There was some weird timing things about, well, you got to give 1 hour of TV time to Kane and Seth Rollins. So, I mean, what are you expecting? They got 1 hour of TV time. 40 minutes of on-screen time, effectively an hour of TV time, was Seth Rollins and Kane on last night's Raw.
Yeah.
1 hour. Remember the Attitude Era Raws when it would be, a whole lot of Rock and a whole lot of Austin spread out throughout the show? Like, Rock would have 2 matches on a Raw and a segment with a third, random dude. The night Chris Jericho debuted on Monday Night Raw, you had Chris Jericho coming out to cut the promo on The Rock. Then he wrestled Big Show on the show. And he did something else in the first segment, I believe, to set up the coming out to be interrupted by Chris Jericho. But now our big stars are Seth Rollins and Kane. And I'm all for trying to build up Seth Rollins into a big star. Kane's boat has kind of, sailed across the world a few times. It left the dock 15 years ago, and it's been sailing ever since. And we keep trying to just bring it right back into that dock. I don't know. NXT, I know you wanted to talk about this 3-way women's #1 contendership match with Bayley, Charlotte, and Miss Becky Lynch.
I enjoyed this match quite a bit. That
is the goal, right?
This? Well, it's so weird. Just understanding me and my sports proclivities, that the NXT women's division is my favorite thing in the WWE right now. And I can't explain it because I'm not a huge fan of women's sports, even though, I respect the athleticism of women, etc. Standard disclaimer. I went to a school where women's basketball was a top, they were challenging for the championship every year against UConn and Stanford when I went to UVA, and UConn, Tennessee, whatever. But just every match, they have solid characters. Everybody in the women's division, with the exception of Dana Brooke. She's great. She's not, but she's okay.
Awesome. Dana Brooke, awesome.
That
top star to come. She could be the next Trish Stratus. Yeah, I said it.
That interview segment was cringeworthy, and I don't know. That interviewer just needs to finally snap, because I'm tired of watching her get abused and be stupid.
Her putting down Devin. Oh, Dana Brooke. I'll say it again for those who might have missed it. Dana Brooke, the next Trish Stratus. Go for it. You know what I want to do? You said the NXT women's division is one of your favorite things in WWE. I did not.
It really is.
We didn't talk about this. This is not something we had planned.
Okay.
I want to know what your top 3 things right now in WWE are. Do you have a top? Can you think of a top 3? What right now in WWE, from NXT, from WWE, from any person on the roster to any program, any storyline, any division? What would your top 3 things be? And I'm trying to think of what mine would be right now, too. And
the NXT women's division, especially the top 4 in there, is number 1.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Okay. Owens and Zayn.
Yeah.
In NXT would probably be number 2.
Yeah.
And then I'll admit number 3 is probably Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I enjoy watching him because I think he's phenomenal, and I think he's taking a lot of crap and making it great. Off the top of my head, that's my top 3.
My top 3, I'm going to put the top men in the NXT division. So you got Owen, Zayn, what they're doing with Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, Tyson, or Tyler Breeze. Like what they're doing with the NXT men would be my top thing right now. Okay. I'm very interested in the women's division. Absolutely. With Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. This would probably be number 4. So it's going to miss the cut for me because the women's division was super full when you had Charlotte involved. Now she's just kind of there, like waiting for the next thing with her, but she's not really a top player anymore. Bayley's way out of the top division. I'm super high on what Dana Brooke could be. I'm just hoping she does progress and reach, up there in potential. She's not there now. I mean, let's be real. I could love what Dana Brooke could be and realize that she's not anything yet.
Okay.
I can realize that, and most others should too, but she has potential out there. NXT, the top men in the division. The US title open challenge is something that I really enjoy just because I think it's going to give us top matches. Obviously, it didn't on Raw because it turned out to just be a segment with Rusev. And if that's what it ends up being for the next couple of weeks and John Cena wins and he goes back to the open challenges, awesome. I love it. Right. If Rusev wins the title, I love it because that means he won the I Quit match. No matter which way. I would hope if he's going to end up winning that match and winning the John Cena feud somehow, that he at least makes him tap one time. But that never happens. No one makes John Cena tap. Number 3 right now would be the rise of Roman Reigns still. And the little stop-start push of Roman Reigns. Because they did the smart thing of putting him, 4th on the card with a Big Show feud. Someone that the crowd does not like. He's a top heel right now. And you put Roman Reigns in there and he can beat Big Show and kind of build up a little momentum with Roman Reigns again to where the crowd naturally and logically, whatever you want to say, organically is what I wanted to say. Where they organically get behind Roman Reigns again. Like that's what I wanted to see. Now it's taking a hit here because he's in the main event all of a sudden again. Mm-hmm. But you go back to that poll that happened on WWE Raw, the WWE app poll. Choose the opponent for Seth Rollins. The options, as you mentioned, were Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, or Roman and Randy Orton. 15% of the people chose Seth Rollins to defend his title against Roman Reigns in a solo. That was double the amount of people that picked Randy Orton to get the solo match. So of the people who didn't want to see a 3-way, the people wanted to see Roman Reigns in this match. 93% of people voting wanted to see Roman Reigns in the title match. 93. So I think there's something to that. I think people were getting behind Roman Reigns again. So and then number 4 would be the NXT women. Like the NXT takes 2 of the top 4 spots in interest to me right now. I want WWE to start getting my interest back. It's just not there.
Yeah, and this is a long way to get to this point. Every match I watch that's at the top of the NXT women's division is different in some way, in some storytelling way. And it keeps my mind, because you know how you watch Raw week after week after week, and a lot of these matches seem like they're the same match. Again, here's where they get to this spot. Here's where they get to this spot.
Yeah.
As I like to call it, the Eagles' greatest hits. Here's where they're going to play Hotel California. Here's where they're going to play Life in the Fast Lane. Mm-hmm. Every match that the women lay out is different, no matter if it's a two-person, 3-person, fatal 4-way, what have you. So, and because the characters are so solid, both in and out of the ring, it's a compelling product to me. So, I mean, and I thought the Becky pin on Bayley was quite clever. And I'm looking forward to the interaction between Sasha and Becky was fantastic, I thought.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
She pulled out the disgusting, which people, I mean, there was a Vine that hit Twitter and
that
Vine.
abused me to no end. And I'm looking forward to their match. I'm hoping they click.
Yeah. That Vine had 70,000 views.
Did it send it to me?
I'll try to find it. 70,000 views as of yesterday, so who knows how it exploded now, of Becky Lynch, saying that the title looks disgusting around her waist in a thick Irish accent, and Sasha Banks making fun of it. But the best part is Becky Lynch just kept going with her words and kind of laughed as Sasha's making fun of her, because she's like, if that's the best you got, I'm going to beat you. The best you have is making fun of the way I talk.
That version of corpsing was fine. That part was fine. Charlotte, once again, smiling after the pin. I just kind of went...
There was no corpsing there. Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch continued. It was like a real conversation. She's getting made fun of. She's going to keep delivering her line, but she didn't deliver it in a way that was like, I'm going to read this no matter what. Right.
Yeah, it didn't break her, as opposed to that aftermath of the Charlotte, of the three-way, where Charlotte's just grinning. And I'm just like, oh, what are you doing?
But there's a lot of... I mean, May 20th is the next NXT special. The first episode of the new tapings is going to air Wednesday night. So some of you may have already listened to this show. Some of you may not have listened to the show yet when the Wednesday show will air. They'll build up to the May 20th takeover special, which, no spoilers here. It looks as if we're getting Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the title again. And you're going to get Becky Lynch now and Sasha Banks for the NXT women's title. The tag team titles with Blake and Murphy and Enzo and Cass have been built up forever. So that's going to be a match on that show. And then we'll find out what's going to happen with Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, Tyler Breeze, some of the other big names on the roster.
I need to ask you something before we end this NXT discussion.
What's up?
Just watching this show.
What's up?
Alex Riley.
Alex
Riley has that Billy Gunn quality where he's much bigger and more agile for his size than you'd think he is.
Gigantic. He's
and I
agile.
Just don't. What do you do with him now?
Fucking give him the title is what you do with him.
No, you don't give the title. Stop.
Really, I'm not talking the NXT title.
No,
give him the world title.
U.S. Open.
Nope.
U.S. title open challenge. Give him that.
That would be badass, by the way. Alex Riley against longtime personal tormentor John Cena. No. I'm saying you want to know
seriously no bit. No. What do you want to?
You want to know the first person to beat Brock? A-Rai. Alex Riley is a big, huge dude. I was thinking about this last night when watching Raw. Like, how is it in a world?
He should have been the man to break the streak. Is that what you're telling me?
How is it in a world where Vince McMahon loves these jacked up bodybuilder types, no matter the personality? He just likes the look. That Alex Riley fell through the cracks. I know it was John Cena's fault. Fell through the cracks. Luke Harper.
Wait. Remind me of the John Cena story, just because I can't remember. I know he got the DUI and they were pissing him about that.
But it's been a long-standing rumor, and Alex Riley backs it up whenever someone mentions it to him, is John Cena is not the biggest fan of Alex Riley, most likely from something they did when working with The Miz. And if you're not going to get on the good side of John Cena, you're going to be buried for a while. I mean...
I like the idea, and this wasn't mine, but I read it somewhere, of repackaging Riley and Jack Swagger as some sort of varsity club type thing. I think that'd be
you could do a tag team with them. That would work too, because I mean that was Alex Riley's original gimmick. But the point I was making,
and Swagger needs something to do. Go ahead.
How does Alex Riley fall through the cracks? How does Luke Harper, who is this giant dude with personality, which they're not really using all of it right now, but giant dude with an interesting look and can work and can do everything. How are these guys not ahead of where they are? Say what you will about Alex Riley. Alex Riley has a personality. He can talk. He shows fire. He shows fun. He was great as the Miz's sidekick. He was great in NXT. He was the best part of NXT season 1. You can, want Daniel Bryan to be as great as you want him to be, and you can think he was great in season 1. Alex Riley was the best part of NXT season 1. Just was.
Lack of vision. That's all I can think of. I mean, in terms of not allowing writers to go out there and write things for anybody other than the guys you care about. That's the only, I mean, you have 20 some odd writers. Let them rehab some of these guys. Let them come up with stories and storylines and things of that nature, and stop the McDonald'sization of this product. That's all I can think of. There has to be some outside the box thinking here, and it's not coming. And people fear for their jobs to recommend ideas that are outside of the box. So it's all in one system that's eating itself up. That's the only thing I can think of.
There are people screaming at their computers right now that Alex Riley wasn't in season 1. And I heard you all the way here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was on season 2. Everything still stands. He was on season 2. He was the best part of season 2. As much as you want Caval to be as good as Caval can be, Alex Riley was the best part of season 2.
Well, look what they did with Caval. I mean, they gave him Lay Cool and they made him a geek.
Yeah.
That's lack of vision too. I mean,
I love this because
I love Luke Harper though. Luke Harper is one of my favorite guys to watch. That may be on my top 3 actually. ahead of Rollins. Since you did 4, he'll be my number 4. Luke Harper's my number 4.
Luke Harper's great. But I just can't understand. And, people get on me on Twitter for praising Alex Riley's commentary. He was really good before they fed him the Jerry Lawler role of being the heel no matter what. He was good on that show.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Alex Riley as a wrestler is not the best ring technician. He's certainly good enough to be a top guy in WWE ring-wise. He can have good matches. He's had good matches and good brawls. He may be the only guy outside of Sami Zayn who can bring the most realistic intensity with Kevin Owens in a brawl in NXT.
I agree. And brawling helps. And actually one other note, the commentary was pretty good this week with Brennan and Graves. Graves' line. There's something I love about the quote unquote feud between Corey Graves and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
That line where he goes, she called me a hipster, and I nearly spilled my craft beer all over myself. Right. That's a legit funny line.
Yeah,
that cracked me up a good minute.
When he's being a real person, he's not bad. He's just not a real person a lot.
Yeah, and that was a Heenan-esque type of move, and Riley showed flashes of that before. But then again, everybody has done that. Matt Stryker did that before they got to him.
I want people, when I say something praising Alex Riley, I'm not being facetious, and it shouldn't be scoffed at. If you actually watch Alex Riley in NXT, if you actually watched what he did on WWE TV when he wasn't just the Mrs. Goofball, Alex Riley could have been a player, and the last 3 years were wasted with Alex Riley.
He could be a modern day Billy Gunn. He has that size and he has the agility.
And this guy wants to be something, because right now he's in NXT, trying to prove that he belongs on the main roster. He could have given up after John Cena buried him to a level where he could only commentate.
Right.
This guy wants to be a wrestler. Why are we, why do some people keep repeating the line that Alex Riley sucks and Alex Riley is a joke? This guy wants to be a wrestler just as much as Kevin Owens does, as much as Sami Zayn does. Why is it just because he wasn't an indie darling are we trashing Alex Riley's dreams?
Because we've seen him, and it's one of those familiarity breeds contempt type of things.
Yeah, I want the best for Alex Riley. I think he's better than what he has been given. But it is time. Well, before it's time, I want to make mention. We do this TV show. I mean, we call it the podcast on video, but unlike other podcasts that are on video that use Google Hangouts, the free and you don't really know where the camera's going, or, podcasts that are put up on YouTube in just the audio format, we do a multi-camera shoot. We shoot a TV show every week, Jeff Hawkins. And I'm not trying to do that to put us over by any means. I just want to let the listeners on audio know who think that every time we promote the YouTube show that we're just promoting the fact that our audio podcast is on YouTube. No, we do a TV show.
Yes, you can see my nasty looks towards people.
You can see Jeff. You can see me. We have, not the best graphics by any means, but we have a little graphics there. Like if you are sitting on the couch and you have an Apple TV or a Roku and you're not listening to podcasts, but you have nothing to watch on TV, you can go to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to Voices of Wrestling on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Voices of Wrestling. And you could watch us on your TV instead of listening to us on your phone later or when you're not so busy. If you just want to hang out on the couch and watch us talk, and while you're doing something else, whether it's playing, games on your phone or whatever the case may be, you can do that. youtube.com/Voices of Wrestling. Subscribe. You get our shows every week. This show, as long as my iPhone is recording, which I can't see because it's facing the other way, as long as it's recording, we will be on YouTube in TV form tomorrow afternoon. So I wanted to remind those who have listened to us blabber on about YouTube for short periods of time and thought it was just the audio podcast. No, Jeff and Rob on TV. Yeah, Jeff is excited. But speaking of on TV, back in the 80s on TBS, the Fantastics fought the Midnight Express for the NWA US Tag Team titles at the very first Clash of the Champions. It is match number 80 on our top 100 matches to see on WWE Network before you die, the WWE.com countdown. This is match number 80, the Fantastics, the Midnight Express. I watched this on the WWE Network. Randy Pee Wee Anderson is the referee. You got Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton, two other guys.
Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers.
Yes, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. As I'm staring blankly at the page where I have my notes.
That's quite all right.
But this match was crazy. Go ahead and take it.
Well, hold on. I'm going to ask you for your opinion in a moment, because this date is very important in my wrestling upbringing, because this is one of the better days in my fandom, as I recall, because the Clash of the Champions, which I believe is March 27th
of 1988,
the same day as WrestleMania 4, which was the first WWF pay-per-view, or first WrestleMania at least, that I could get on pay-per-view. So I had a good 10 people over at my house that day, mostly my brother's friends.
Jeff Hawkins, popular.
We had
his brother popular.
Well, my brother was very popular.
Okay.
Me, not so much, but we watched WrestleMania 4 while we were VHSing Clash of the Champions. And then after WrestleMania was over, we popped on Clash of the Champions. So it was an all-day wrestling geek fest.
Yeah.
And it was
great.
It was a hell of a time. And I'm the NWA guy in the family. So I mean, I love Clash of the Champions. Sure. What did you think of this match? Because Old Man Hawkins can come out, Old Man Hawkins, mid-card tag team feuds. I love them. I love them all. I love the Midnight Express. I love the Fantastics. I love the Rock and Roll Express. I love the Sheep Herders. I love the Varsity Club. I love all those guys. What did you think? Had you ever seen this match before?
I never saw it. I've never seen the original Clash of the Champions.
Oh, really?
I haven't. No, wow. I take that back. I've seen Flair and Sting.
Okay.
But as far as the whole show, no. I've never seen the whole show.
It's worth a watch.
For everything. If you only watch this match in isolation, you would have thought that it could easily be like the main event of the show, the way the crowd was reacting. This crowd was loving it. Jim Cornette's at ringside. People are hating on the Midnight Express.
The Clash of the Champions happened in Greensboro,
North Kakalaki.
For those who have watched the Crockett documentary, as I have numerous times, Greensboro was the hub of the NWA Mid-Atlantic area. And once they took these types of shows out of Greensboro, it was really a death knell. But yes, this crowd was hot.
Yeah,
this announcing team was hot. You had Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone on the call, which some people like that. Some people like the typical color guy, play-by-play guy. I always dig kind of the two play-by-play guys.
They were
sweetening it up for each other, because I like Ross and Cottle when they're together as well. Yeah. I mean, Bob Cottle, he's your grandpa, but I love listening to him add whatever he adds to a broadcast. But Schiavone's kind of high-pitched tenor, very excitable when he's calling a sport, and Jim Ross I always liked WCW Jim Ross more than WWE Jim Ross. And he was on point here, just being excited and being angry at times. And yeah, I love everything about this match. So continue.
Late in the match, it was almost as if like Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross were trying to out-excite each other. Like Tony Schiavone would get louder, and then Jim Ross would come over the top even louder, and then Tony would get louder, and Jim Ross was screaming at the top of his lungs as if like this guy was going to fall down and croak if he wouldn't just stop. Like the blood vessels were going all over the place. They were trying to outdo each other. It was awesome. The crowd, of course, is going wild from the very get-go.
Yes, because this match, despite it being a tag team match, is a fight.
It was a fight.
It is a fight.
They
with
brawl
some
right out of the
wrestling moves
gate.
in it. Brawl almost to an ECW type of level, because you have chairs and tables being thrown around and just bodies flying everywhere, and it's awesome.
All over the place.
It's the same match you see out of the Midnight Express every time, but the fighting aspect of it makes it different. And you can watch these types of things 15 times, and it feels like they're actually angry at each other. And then the crowd feeds off of that, and the announcers feed off of that. And it's just a perfect storm of awesomeness. I love it.
Awesomeness. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean they're brawling, and Tony Schiavone is talking about how weapons are in play, and they're just fighting and fighting and fighting. I mean, it was a sprint. It was 10 minutes of a sprint.
Yes.
And towards the middle, of course, they get some control and they're tagging in and out, but it was pretty much a sprint.
Basically, everything on the outside was legal, and everything on the inside was by the rules. That's kind of how they were doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, why can't you hit people with a chair? Why was that not a DQ? Because if you're not in the ring, anything could go.
Right.
They didn't announce that, but that's just how they did the match.
So there was a teaser finish here in this match. We really had 2 finishes.
Yes.
After they start sprinting and they're brawling and wrestling, Tommy Rogers pinned Bobby Eaton. And the crowd thought that the Fantastics had won the tag team titles.
Yes.
But it was not to be.
Nope, because first of all, let me backtrack a little. Bobby Eaton was a man in this match. Bobby Eaton was the man. I mean, he had a power slam. He bulldogged a fool onto a table. I particularly in my notes, here's the one big note I had was I loved Tony Schiavone's explanation of why Bobby Fulton should not be helping his partner over on that side of the ring. Remember when they had Rogers after they bulldogged him on the table and they're beating him over near their corner and Fulton comes over to help? Tony Schiavone not missing a beat, and Jim Ross gets in on this too. He goes, yeah, the reason the referee's over there trying to get Fulton back in there is because he's too close to the Midnight Express's corner, and he should be in his corner at all times. I go, my God, continuity. Ooh, hose mid down.
Wow, that's how easy it is for you, huh?
Oh, God,
continuity gets Jeff turned on, apparently.
I like continuity and logic. Is that so hard to ask? But I mean, okay, so we're brawling.
Intended.
We're brawling towards the end during the sprint.
Yes.
And Jim Cornette comes in with a tennis racket, or there's a tag that the ref doesn't see. Pee Wee Anderson misses the tag due to double teaming shenanigans. And so Bobby Fulton's on fire and he's trying to get to him, but he can't because the ref is holding him back. And Jim Cornette comes in with the loaded tennis racket and he takes the handle and sticks it into Tommy Rogers' gut. And Bobby Fulton cannot take no more. So he takes Pee Wee Anderson and says, get out of here, you mulleted freak, and throws him over the top.
Freak. Throws him over the top rope, which is a no-no.
Throws him over the top rope, which is a no-no. But no one makes a big deal about it except for Ross giving a little slight, he's going to have to pay for that. And the brawl is continuing on and on until they throw Cornette out. They hit, was it Eaton? Eaton goes down. They hit the rocket launcher on Eaton. And Tommy Young, the world's hardest working referee, has run down to check on his man, but he sees the pin and he jumps in the ring and hits that mat hard 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I mean, he is hitting the hell out of this mat. I was going to ask you as a referee, do you ever get that worked up, hitting the mat that hard?
There were times where I would hit it hard. Like I was conscious, especially when I had to ref, multiple matches on a show, because it's hard sometimes when you're really slamming your hand down the whole time. You start getting, bruised up and puffed up and a little swollen. Yeah, sometimes you just want to hit it as hard as you can. You want to make that good sound. And Tommy Rogers was doing, Brian Gorey. Tommy Young, sorry. But Brian Gorey does this, ROH official, and some people make fun of him because he does the left arm and he does exactly like Tommy Young, where he swirls, he moves that hand as much as possible when he's counting. He does that exact thing. But yeah.
Tommy Young hits the 3 count.
He hits the 3 count as hard as he can.
New champs, everybody goes nuts.
Everyone's nuts for the new champs, but then Pee Wee recovers, gets back in the ring, and thank God for Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross letting us know what's going on, because Pee Wee Anderson was not one of those who made a big show of things.
Right. Very
nonchalant. He just rings the bell, or calls for the bell, gives the titles to the Midnight Express, because of Tommy Rogers, Bobby Fulton throwing Pee Wee over the ropes, the Fantastics were disqualified.
And then more magic.
Well, Jim Cornette
whacks
everyone
the hell out, and he just starts killing fools with his tennis racket, including both the referees.
And it looked like he just whacked flat on the back Pee Wee Anderson.
He pummeled him with this thing. With the edge of the racket, he killed him.
This guy who just let your team retain the tag team titles, by the way.
Well, they were trying to break up the fight as Stan Lane had come in with a chair to come in and start doing more beating. So he's cleared the ring of the refs and of Tommy Rogers.
This was chaos.
Now it's time to take off the belt and get a little whooping on Bobby Fulton. This is Southern style here.
This was chaos from start to finish, and then after the finish.
Whips him with the belt. And Jim Ross is having a stroke.
Yeah, he's just going nuts.
My God, they're tearing flesh off his back.
Nuts. And this was the second match in the show, by the way.
Yes.
There were 3 or 4 more matches to come after this.
We had a Chicago street fight with barbed wire next, and this one is the one they're going mad over right now, if you can imagine that.
Crazy.
So, I mean, and, you know, this is mid-card tag team feud, and it has this kind of heat.
For the U.S. tag team titles.
Yes.
The Midnight Express retain. They defeat the Fantastics.
I'm so happy you liked this. I was a little worried.
4 1/4 stars is what Meltzer gave it at the time, just to keep that gimmick alive. I did quite enjoy this because it was 10 minutes. It was a sprint. You got to see 2 classic tag teams.
I was surprised it went 10 because I thought it was like 5 because I was like, man, that ended really quickly. I was like, whoa. It was so quick. Well, because there was action from start to finish. There was at no time, you know, chin locks and, you know, long signature submission holds. Like, it was a sprint from start to finish. I love late 80s tag team wrestling.
And Jim Ross was insane.
Yeah. Tony Schiavone was insane.
Everyone was just nuts.
Steve Dr. Death Williams was on cocaine before this match. So, I mean,
do what you want to do, I guess. Do what you want to do.
If you want to be my friend, go watch this match and then come talk to me on Twitter about the greatness of late 80s tag teams, especially in NWA, WCW.
If you watch this match along, I want your thoughts at Shake Them Ropes. At Shake Them Ropes on Twitter.
Copy me at Crap Game 13.
Do you see this right now? Jeff's so excited now he can't stop talking. Suspension. Yep. Nope, can't hear him now. We want to hear your thoughts at Shake Them Ropes on Twitter. At Shake Them Ropes, tell us what you thought about the Fantastics, the Midnight Express. Any thoughts from Clash of the Champions 1? As I bring Jeff Hawkins back here.
Oh, I wasn't in that time?
You were suspended. You were suspended for making too much noise.
I was saying relevant things.
Nope.
Suspended. Yeah, no, you have to excuse some of the time capsule things, as you know, they're introducing new characters, and you know the Chicago street fight's very short. The tag team title match is great.
I love the revelation of the top 10 teams for the Crockett Cup. I just loved it. I love the graphics that were used. I love the top 10 board. Oh, it was great. Next week, match number 79 from Extreme Rules 2012, Sheamus against Daniel Bryan is match number 79 in our top 100 countdown. Sheamus and D-Bry. I don't remember that one at all.
Neither do I.
Judging by the 2 men in the match, I mean, I would not be surprised.
I think it was one of those solid but forgettable things.
Extreme Rules 2012, is that what I said?
Yes.
I'm going to look this one up and see, just because it's like generally the quickest and only reliable way we have to kind of judge how good a match would be without us seeing it first. I'm going to look at the old Meltzer ratings for this one. And he gave it...
Okay, while you were looking, you found it already now.
Oh, this was a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the World Heavyweight title.
That's right.
4 stars from Meltzer at the time. Was not the best match on the show, according to him, because, of course, the main event on that show was Brock Lesnar's first match back, taking on John Cena.
The one where they just basically blew his... It's
amazing.
The chain wrapped around the fist.
It's amazing. So maybe that's why we don't remember this match, because the main event is the only thing most people remember.
Here's a funny Shake Them Ropes corollary to the match we just talked about. Our from 2 episodes, Mr. Todd Martin. You ever want to get him on a rant, ask him about the Fantastics. He can't stand the Fantastics.
Really?
He can't stand them.
Okay.
He finds them to be like, he's like, they have a weird, dumb gimmick, like they're Chippendale strippers, and they just seem like a poor man's Fabulous Ones.
What I'm going to do with with frequent Shake Them Ropes guest Todd Martin, what I'm going to do is, if the Wizards, because the Wizards are moving on, they ran through the Raptors.
Okay.
Ran through them. So as much as he thought the Capitals and the Raptors would... or the Raptors would take care of the Wizards, he was wrong. If the Wizards lose, the day they lose, I will tweet him and say, hey, just saw a Fantastics match. It was awesome. Go Wiz.
I tweeted him today. I said, or when I was plugging Shake Them Ropes, I said, Todd Martin used to be president of the Fantastics fan club.
Yeah.
He got a kick out of it. So, everybody go troll Todd about the Fantastics.
Don't troll Todd. Troll us if you want to troll somebody. Troll us.
Troll Todd.
There's a King of the Ring written review at voicesofwrestling.com. We'll put videos up. I'm staying up to watch the New Japan show tonight.
Oh, there is that, isn't there?
Wrestling Hinakuni. Togi Makabe Tomohiro Ishii, the main event.
Okay.
For the Never title. Also, the return of Big Daddy Yum Yum. It's quite the show. The opener has the three young lions, Tanaka, White, and Komatsu, going up against Geto, Beretta, and Rocky Romero, which I am super excited for. Like, beyond belief excited for this match.
I look forward to that. Is Toru Yano on the show?
Toru Yano is on the show.
Who's he facing? Captain New Japan? Some multi-tag?
I believe it is a tag team, obviously, with Tanahashi included, but we'll get this here. In fact, I'll look up the card. I will look it up because this is happening late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. So some of you who listen to this show right away might be interested in this, but we'll do it very quickly. Tomohiro Ishii against Togi Makabe is the main event. You're going to have Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming with Shibata and Goto, taking on Sakuraba, Yano, and Nakamura. Usual house show fare, really, for the most part. But then you have the NWA title with Tenzan going up against Big Daddy Yum Yum. You have Steve Anthony defending the NWA Junior Heavyweight title that he won from Jushin Liger in America. He's defending it now against Jushin Liger back in Japan.
Yeah, he won it in Vegas at Cauliflower Alley, right?
Kojima and Captain New Japan taking on Cody Hall and Yujiro Takahashi. So Kojima is probably going to pin Cody Hall. No surprise there.
Right.
But that 6-man opener, 20-minute time limit.
I didn't hear Yano on that card.
I just said Yano was in the 6-man with Nakamura and Sakuraba going up against Tanahashi, Shibata, and Goto.
Okay, there we go.
Toru Yano. Toru Yano might win that match, by the way.
Oh, he's winning the G1.
Sure. Yeah, right. On that note, Toru Yano winning the G1, I think it is time to close this episode 80 of Shake Them Ropes. We'll be back next week talking Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, as well as the build-up to Payback, as well as anything else that may happen. Maybe some NXT, too, since tomorrow night we'll watch the first episode of the new tapings. We'll see what's going on through TakeOver. So some stuff to talk about next week. For this week's Shake Them Ropes, Rob McCarron saying goodbye, Jeff Hawkins.
Happy birthday to me.
Is it your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Thank you.